Hey guys, and welcome to the video. I'm here with Khal today, and I thought I would do a little vlog on my kind of pre and post ride routine, because I do quite a few things to try and keep them feeling as good as possible, keeping them injury free. He's just like resting his. So I'm just gonna set up the tripod and film what I do. Now he's licking my arm. And film what I do, and I'll give a bit of a voiceover on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I'm also going to show you some clips of me jumping Khal. It's from last weekend, but I haven't posted them on YouTube. I just don't have anyone to video me riding today, so I thought I'd put them in to make it a little bit more interesting, to keep some riding clips in the video. So yes, this is Khal. He is a 6-year-old Irish sport horse. He is a homebred, and he jumped up to 120 last year. This year he hasn't gone to any shows yet because of coronavirus, but he's just kind of getting back into work and getting back into the swing of things, and that's why this is the most important time to keep on top of your horse's like suppleness and everything, because it's when they're building muscle, and it's the time that they're most likely to start getting sore muscles, you know, when they're coming back into work. So yeah, I'll get started. Good boy.
So the first thing I do when I bring him in and take off his rug is pop on his equilibrium massage pad. This is meant to run for 30 minutes, but I kind of find it hard to have time to do this, seeing as he doesn't live in a stable. So I just kind of pop it on while I'm tacking up, grooming and all that. So it runs for a good while, and then, you know, anything's better than nothing. So then I just go through my usual kind of grooming. So I pick out his feet. I use a kind of stiffer brush to clean his legs, because as you can see he's clipped. So I use a soft brush on the clipped hair and a nice kind of firm brush on his legs to brush off all the dirt. I also always brush down his mane, but it is so hard to keep it onto one side. I really need to plait it or kind of tie it down again to try and train it to stay on one side. But it looks great once it's brushed over. So it's really important when you're grooming them. This is a great time to check for any kind of lumps, bumps, cuts or anything like that, especially with Khal, because he lives out in a field. Here. Oh, he's so silly. I love him. Because he lives out in the field, it's, you know, he's more likely to maybe pick up a little cut or something. So yeah, it just gives me a chance to check him all over. Next, I brush up the dirt off his hooves and put on some hoof conditioner. It's important to use a conditioner and not a hoof oil, because oil will dry out their hooves, whereas more like conditioner, this has biotin in it, so it kind of promotes hoof growth. I put this on because it's gotten very dry recently and their hooves will dry out. It's good to keep them moisturized and growing well. Next, I put on his boots. I just have brushing boots on today because I was only doing flat work, but if I was jumping, then I'd use my jumping boots. Here I'm putting on my bridle. He just goes in a snaffle, no flash or anything like that. I really like to keep the horses in as simple tack as possible. It is a French link snaffle though, with a lozenge in the middle. So now I take off the massage pad and I start tacking him up. So he has a half pad just to help the saddle fit a little bit better, because I use it on all the horses, and obviously I can't have a custom fit saddle for every single horse. So that's how I get around that.
Hey guys, so I'm now up on Khal. I've done all my tacking up and grooming and everything like that. So first, it's really important to walk them, especially if your horse is stabled. This is like really important to really walk your horse quite a lot before you start trotting. Khal does live out, so I suppose I could get trotting a little bit sooner, but sorry, he's just I'll show you what he's doing in a second when I show you the clips. So yeah, because he's out in the field, I can probably speed this up a little bit, but I still think it's really good to walk for a good while to really encourage your horse to stretch down and stretch over their back, and just to really warm up their muscles fully before you start trotting. So my kind of routine for warming up is that I walk on a long rein for quite a while. Khal is exceptionally good. He really stretches down. He loves to stretch. He actually has started dragging his nose along the ground, which is quite special. So most horses will not stretch quite so well the minute you get on them. Usually horses stretch better at the end when they're a bit more relaxed and settled into the work. So first I walk around, I stretch, I do lots of changing the rein, changing the bend, getting him to listen to my leg. Then I go up forward into trot, and I'll do the same again, working really long and low and getting him to, I'm constantly changing direction. I'm never going around the outside of the arena. I'm always off the outside of the arena, and yeah, doing figures of 8s, circles, like turn back, roll back kind of turns and stuff like that. So, and then I will canter, and when I start cantering I stand up off his back and let him stretch out. And then after all that is done, I then start the proper flat work. So then I'll go back to walk for a minute, give him a little break, and then I'll pick up my reins and pick him up into a more like working outline, and then I will go again in walk, trot and canter. And then he's warmed up and ready to jump or to do whatever kind of pull work exercises that I want to do. So as you can kind of tell, it's a little bit like long, but it's very structured, and it is definitely the best way to prevent injuries is to warm up your horse fully. It's the same with human sports. You know, if you don't stretch and then you just run 10k, you are going to be sore the next day, and it's all about preventing that kind of soreness and yeah, preventing injuries. So that's why warming up is so important. And equally important is the cool down. So when I'm done, I will trot him off on a long rein, again asking him to stretch down for a couple of laps, changing the rein every so often, and then I will walk him off for a good like 10 minutes at least. Sometimes I might go down the road for the walk and stuff, just to kind of vary the work. And yeah, it's just all about, you know, keeping his body really supple and preventing any sort of like injuries or soreness in him. So that is the plan. I will show you some clips of him walking, what he's doing right now. He's playing the, it's kind of like hard, my reins aren't really long enough because he wants to walk with his head on the ground, so I have to really reach forward like that. So it's kind of hard to vlog and do that. So I'll show you some clips of that, and I'll show you some clips of me jumping. I don't really have my warm up on camera, but I've talked you through it anyway. I've been rambling for long enough. Have fun watching my riding, and then I will get back to you with my kind of untacking and stretching and everything like that I do after I ride.
So after I ride, the first thing I obviously do is untack him. So that's what I'm going to do now. So the first thing I do is carrot stretches to each side. I actually use little treats, not carrots, so kind of false name. He was a little bit tired this day, so he was a bit slow to do it, but he has very good range of motion. He goes right back up to his hips. If you've never done it before, then your horse might not go so far. So just take it easy. Don't ask them to go too far if they're not able to. It's just going to take some time. Then I just do these little kind of butt scratches to get him to stretch out his back. So firstly, I do his front leg stretches. I do 10 small circles to the left and right with his knee at a 90-degree angle and with his legs stretched out and downwards. And then I do his hind leg stretches. So again, 10 circles left and right with his leg back. And then the same with his leg forward and low, medium and high. So these are just very kind of standard stretches that you can do, but I would definitely recommend getting a physio or someone like that out to show you how to do them, and also to go through what stretches would be best for your horse in particular, because your horse might be tight in certain muscles, and then your physio can show you which stretches will most benefit your horse. So then I give him a big rub, and the last thing I do is I put on these ice boots. There's loads of research behind ice boots that show how beneficial they are after work. So I think it's really, really beneficial to just pop them on. I just put them on while the horses are eating their feed, so it's not any more work really for me.
So now I have his ice boots on, and I leave them on for about 20 minutes because that's what it says in the package, so that's what I go with. They're the ones from Shires. I didn't get sent them or anything, I bought them, but I picked them because they were kind of cheapest ones around, and they're actually really handy because they're this kind of gel inside, and you can make them, you can heat them up or cool them down, so they can be ice boots or for like to increase circulation and stuff. So it's very, very handy. Ideally I would put them on all four legs, but I only have 4 boots, and what I kind of do, my routine is that I do the 2 horses at the same time. So I do Dali and Khal. So Dali has the other 2 on his front 2 legs, and then Khal has the other 2. So that's what I do. I'm just gonna feed him now, and then when the 20 minutes are up, I'll put them back out in the field. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you thought it was kind of interesting. I always like looking at other people's routines. You're always going to learn something or kind of see different ways to do things. So yeah, I thought I'd just you think there's more treats in my hand. So yeah, I thought I'd just share it. So leave a like, comment, and be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.